The movie begins on a tempestuous night when a man regains consciousness next to an overturned car following a crash. He stumbles onto the road and heads towards a nearby town. Before he reaches the town, a car nearly collides with him, veering off the road. The man rushes to the car to check on the driver, only to discover she's lifeless. He retrieves her phone and dials for an ambulance. The dispatcher struggles to hear him as he discloses his location. When asked for his name, he realizes he can't remember it. He searches his pockets and finds a driver's license that oddly states he has no name. Suddenly, a dead bird plummets onto the car, startling him. He flees from the car and eventually reaches a restaurant. Upon entering, he discovers that everyone inside is also deceased. Abruptly, a van crashes outside, revealing another lifeless driver. In response, the man rips off his sleeve to create a makeshift mask. He snatches a map from the restaurant and escapes into the forest. Later, he finds a house that might be his. He knocks on the lit front door, but with no response, he breaks in. Inside, a voicemail message reveals his name as Liam. He recalls a memory of being stranded on a boat. After showering, he hears news reports hinting at potential biological warfare and unsafe air. Liam seals his broken door and warns an outsider to leave for safety. The man doesn't hear Liam, so he shows him a message. As the man approaches Liam's house, he suddenly collapses dead. Liam notes down his observations and tunes into more news. The reports mention only 2 similar localized incidents. Hearing a crow call, Liam steps outside. As he nears the crow, it dies. He wonders if he's at the center of these odd events. While estimating a safety perimeter around his house, a car appears. Fearing potential harm to the driver, he retreats to his property. Liam contemplates calling 911 but decides against it. He gathers food from his kitchen and starts fortifying his shed while listening to news reports about the recent deaths not being virus-related. He spots a dog outside and secures his windows. That night, the police arrive at his house after finding his truck. Liam hides as they search his property. An officer is about to inspect the shed when a flock of crows suddenly falls from the sky, halting her. She communicates this strange occurrence to her partner, likening it to an incident at a restaurant, and they leave. Haunted by a car accident, Liam wakes up to the sound of a car outside. He notices a woman entering his house. Startled, he makes a noise which she hears. She tries to engage him in conversation, but Liam warns her to keep her distance. Despite knowing his name and expressing a desire to talk, he insists she stay away from the shed. A woman unexpectedly visits Liam, revealing that she was with him during a truck accident. Both of them have no memory of the event. Despite his initial hesitation, Liam allows her to explore his house after a dog near him remains unharmed, suggesting he might not be linked to the strange event. She found his house through the truck's registration details given by a cop. Inside, they find a child's photo, but Liam doesn't recognize it. After discussing the incident, she assures him it's over. Subsequently, he finds himself in the kitchen when she unexpectedly appears behind him, triggering his memory of her joining him in the truck. Liam inquires if she recognizes the location, where he noticed the truck had halted. They pinpoint the location on a map, conveniently situated next to a bridge. The next day, they embark on a journey towards this location in a car. During the drive, she gazes at him, attempting to decipher their relationship. He questions what he should address her as, to which she responds that she has been universally referred to as Jane Doe. Liam decides to call her Jane. Upon reaching the bridge, they stroll across it, with Jane confessing that she has no recollection of it. Liam expresses to her that he feels a sense of familiarity with her, despite his lack of memory. Jane shares with him a dream she had while in the hospital. In this dream, she was a young girl, queued up with her family at a mall, eagerly awaiting. Suddenly, a child yanks down Santa's beard, causing her to panic and flee to the parking lot. Jane admits that this dream is her only memory. Liam reassures her that any memory is a positive sign, indicating her memories are intact. Unexpectedly, Jane recalls a night where she held a blank paper. Liam had told her she couldn't stay, and she remembers throwing the paper into the water, feeling like she left something behind. Jane's frustration grows due to her memory loss. Liam suggests they visit the crash site in case the police overlooked anything. On their way, the news reports the incident as unnatural and man-made. Upon arrival, Liam asks Jane if the police explained the crash, but they haven't. She informs him about a car accident near their location, but Liam conceals his presence at the scene. Upon reaching the site, they discover a charred patch of grass. Liam recalls a memory and questions her about her whereabouts when she regained consciousness. They both share their respective locations at the time of the incident. Liam confesses that he believes the strange events began with him and felt as if he was draining life from others merely by proximity. He is convinced that he caused these events and the resulting fatalities, but he believes it's over now. Jane fears him, yet he suggests she might have experienced something unusual as well. She disagrees and flees, with him chasing and apologizing. As a woman in a passing car inquires about their well-being, Jane fears the return of the mysterious entity that could harm her. They dismiss the woman and continue their dispute. However, as Jane departs, the woman, revealing herself as a police officer, approaches Liam. She informs him they've been searching for him due to the location his truck was discovered, before suddenly dying. Witnessing this, Jane halts and then flees from Liam. He manages to reach her and assures her of her safety. Liam and Jane find a goat in a field. Liam instructs Jane to step back, and as she does, the goat collapses. Liam reveals that he's causing this, but Jane is somehow preventing it. He suggests they visit a distant hospital to understand his condition better. Fearing local recognition, Jane proposes he feigns memory issues to justify a CT scan. They're both concerned about explaining this to the police. Before entering the hospital, Liam apologizes to Jane for his secrecy, and she assures him they're in this together. The doctor advises Liam to seek immediate medical attention if he experiences another memory lapse. During the scan, Jane is asked to leave the room. They falsely claim Liam's claustrophobia prevents him from being alone, but the technician still insists Jane leaves. Jane is allowed to observe from a booth. After the scan, Liam anxiously asks Jane if she noticed anything unusual on the monitor, but she admits her lack of expertise. Liam's anxiety heightens when a news report about a police officer's death mentions his name as heard by the officer's last phone call recipient. The police discover a farmer's corpse on Liam's property, labeling him as armed and dangerous. Liam and Jane attempt to flee the hospital, but encounter the police and Liam's doctor, who informs them his scan is clear. Jane pulls Liam away upon spotting the police. They evade the officers in the hospital corridors. Liam enters an elevator, while Jane notices missing person pamphlets, including one about her. The elevator doors close before Jane can join Liam, separating them. As the elevator moves, Jane chases it down the stairs. Liam instructs the elevator occupants to exit immediately upon the doors opening. When the doors open, Liam waits for Jane, but misses her. Jane continues her descent down the stairs. Liam and Jane reunite on the hospital's second floor, but upon spotting the police, they leave. They later reach a secluded property. Jane shares her feelings of disconnection from her previous life. Liam proposes they rest and strategize the next day. They sleep in the car on the property, where Liam dreams about the crash and notices Jane's wedding ring upon waking. The next morning, Jane hears a news report stating that the police know she's with Liam and have identified her. Her husband publicly pleads for her return, professing his love. Jane suggests to Liam that they should visit her husband, who might help them resolve their predicament. Liam initially resists, citing the danger, but Jane convinces him, despite her fears that her husband could be linked to her disappearance. They locate his address and drive to his house. As he steps outside, they approach him. Recognizing Jane, he rushes over. Jane instructs him to get in the car. He recognizes Liam from the news and questions their situation, but Jane simply asks him to trust her and get in the car. Later, the trio find themselves in a field. Despite being informed about their situation, Sam remains skeptical, especially about Jane's memory loss. He contemplates contacting the police, but Jane convinces him to assist them, warning that she might have to leave with Liam otherwise. Liam's demonstration with pigeons illustrates the consequences of their separation, frightening Sam into agreement. They retreat to Sam's store for a few days of refuge. Jane suggests they need a scientist's help and proposes Sam as a liaison. Liam prioritizes disposing of their car, which Sam agrees to handle. Eventually, they tune into new speculations about their relationship. At their hideout, Liam discovers a missing persons poster from Jane's memory. It features her image but another girl's name. Sam reveals that Jane is Rose, and the girl in the poster is her twin sister Lily, who disappeared months ago and hasn't returned. Lily's disappearance plunged Rose into a depressive obsession to find her, leading to a fallout with Sam. This explains her departure days ago and her recent return. The revelation bridges a significant gap in Rose's memory. She recalls giving up her search for Lily and contemplating a tragic act on a bridge where Liam found and saved her. They were driving away from the bridge when an accident occurred. Rose acknowledges Liam's life-saving intervention and expresses her gratitude. Later, Sam stumbles upon Jane asleep on Liam's lap, sparking jealousy. He impulsively contacts the police, but immediately regrets his decision. The police's arrival and subsequent separation of Liam and Jane result in their demise, along with nearby pedestrians. In the aftermath, Sam urges them to flee, vowing to handle the situation. Liam recalls their destination post-crash, a remote cabin he owns. They pause at a gas station, where a news broadcast grabs grabs their attention. On the night of the accident, an inexplicable cosmic event occurred at the exact location of their crash. The pair suspect this anomaly might be behind their peculiar circumstances, but lack evidence to confirm it. Subsequently, they reach a lakeside cabin. Engaging in a lengthy discussion about their past and future, they ponder the implications of convincing authorities about the anomaly's role in the fatalities. They would likely be sequestered together indefinitely. Liam expresses concern about burdening Jane with his care, but Jane reassures him, stating she wouldn't mind such a life. In a remote cabin, Liam isolates himself to prevent harm to others. He ventures to a nearby lake, boarding a boat, signaling impending doom for many fish. Concurrently, Jane discovers a journal containing missing person posters and notes about each individual. She is shocked to find her sister's poster. The subsequent page reveals her real name, unmasking Liam as a serial killer who targets women. As Liam recalls his past on the boat, he remembers murdering Jane's sister and discarding her body in the water. Jane was to be his next victim. On their drive to the cabin, Jane realized Liam was attempting to drug her, leading to a dispute and subsequent crash. Miraculously, they both escaped unscathed. A mysterious cosmic event then ensnared them in an energy dome. Their memories of the incident are hazy, but the puzzle pieces are aligning. Overwhelmed by his past atrocities, Liam retches by the lake. Jane confronts him with a gun, demanding he retrieve her sister from the lake. She contemplates shooting him, but finds herself unable to pull the trigger. Upon returning to the cabin, they encounter a group of men who mistake them for terrorists and launch an attack. Liam manages to kill 2 of the assailants before fleeing, while the remaining thug shoots Jane in a panic before succumbing himself. Jane is gravely injured, and Liam rushes her to the hospital. As he watches her being taken away, he feels a deep revulsion for his past as a serial killer. The movie ends when he takes his own life to prevent further harm. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.